More Than Just a Pretty Face by Saeed M. Masood. Chapter 7. I was totally planning to spend the weekend reading up on Churchill, but Saturday slipped by like a ninja, and on Sunday I ended up taking the BART back to Remarquable unexpectedly. I gotten a super weird call from the maitre d' claiming that there was a young man asking young woman, asking after me. He had no other information except that she'd said her name was Soraya, but she liked to be called Suri for short. I told the maitre d' that I didn't know anyone by that name, which he'd said was fine, but the fact was that she obviously knew me and she was waiting. So if I would be so kind, etc., etc. When I got to the restaurant, I used the back entrance, washed my hands 4 times with industrial strength soap to get BART germs off, then made my way to the front. I recognized the mysterious Suri instantly. It was Bisma's little sister. She looked pretty cozy in an oversized heather gray hoodie, reading a textbook at the table in an empty restaurant, sipping what I later learned was hot chocolate she'd prevailed on the maitre d' to give her, even though we didn't serve hot chocolate, and Remarquable was closed. She looked up and gave me a huge grin as I approached. "Hi," she said. I sat across from her. "Hey, what are you doing here?" "I came looking for you. I heard you worked here." "I figured that part out," I said with a smile. "Why are you here?" "That," she said with an approving nod, "is a better question." Thanks. Are you going to answer it? "I came to tell you," Suri said, drawing the words slowly and pushed the rest as quickly as she could. "I'm sorry about the other night, and that shouldn't have happened, and Abu can be so awful, and it's so unfair, and I think that you should totally marry Bisma because she's so awesome, and no one gives her a chance because of one mistake. I think that's terrible, and that you were kind of awesome too, so you'd be good together." I let her catch her breath, wondering if she'd go on. She did, and also I don't want to live there anymore because I ran away from home and I told everyone at school that I'm living with you now, so can I please go with you? "What?" I asked. My surprised shout echoed across the room. Suri giggled. "The last part was a joke." "Oh, you're hilarious. Totally hilarious," she agreed. Suri quickly bent down to reach for her backpack and hit her head on the table on her way back. "F, that hurt." "Language," I said. "God, Suri," said. Don't be such an uncle." She fumbled around inside her backpack and pulled out a USB drive. It looked identical to the one that her father had offered me the other night. "I stole it from Abu, and I'm going to destroy it. Unless, have you rethought his offer? It'd be really messed up if you did, and I guess you can have this if you're going to marry her." "Wait, what? No, dude, this whole thing is so weird." "Yep, it's totally effed up," Suri agreed enthusiastically. "Can you stop swearing? You shouldn't be talking like that. How old are you, 12? I'm 15. She probably couldn't have sounded more offended if I said something blasphemous. She didn't look her age or act her age, though, so I'm not sure it was my fault. I'd gotten it wrong mostly. Anyway, I took a deep breath. There isn't anything wrong with business. She seems lovely. She is. I just don't think we're a match. That's only because you don't know her yet," Suri insisted. "But maybe, so I guess it's a good thing that she's on her way here now." I rubbed my hands over my face. This was a dream, a bad one, wasn't it? Nope. Suri was sitting before me, looking at me with pitiful, pleading eyes. "Look," I said, "I appreciate that you want to help your sister be happy, but I can't marry someone because I feel sorry for her. That'd be stupid." "It'd be totally stupid," Suri nodded, her tone cheerful, "which is why I didn't ask you to do that. I asked you to marry her because she's the nicest, sweetest person ever in the history of people everywhere." I started to say something, but she was not done talking. Yeah, she did a stupid thing, but it's totally our hang-ups, right? Other people do it all the time. It isn't a huge population boom problem in India and Pakistan. All the babies are coming from somewhere. People are drilling a lot of rods into a lot of holes, is what I'm saying. And business screwed for life because she didn't sign the proper forms before she did it. And now she has to live with all this patriarchy BS while the guy who recorded her totally got away with it because Bisma and her parents didn't want to report him and make a big scene. That is such weak sauce. Do I get something soon? No, Suri joked. At least I think... Do I get to say something soon? No, Suri joked. At least I thought she was joking. Just like, have lunch with her or something, you know? What have you got to lose? That was a fair question, I guess. Suri's phone rang. It's her, she said, hopping off her chair and jogging to the front door. Yeah, I'm going to let you in. No, I'm coming outside. Daniel wants to see you. I groaned and got to my feet. This is going to be awkward. Bisma walked in moments later, saw me, blushed prettily, and looking away for a moment before glancing back, she was wearing a Wonder Woman t-shirt with a pair of jeans and highlighted her slender legs. Hi, she said. Hey, I smiled at her and then realized something different. You're not wearing your glasses. She wears contacts almost all the time, Suri said. Just not at Rishta meetings. She thinks it's dishonest. Isn't that awesome? Bisma shook her head. Yeah, I'm a paragon of virtue. Let's go, Suri. But I thought, Soraya. Bisma's tone was sharper than the one Chef Broder's knives. Right now. Suri gave a world-weary huff and stomped her way back to the table we've been sitting at. I'm sorry about her, Bisma said. This is really unfair to you. All of this has been. It's okay. No, it isn't. We're not awful people, really. I don't think you're awful. He totally doesn't, Suri called from the table. He totally doesn't. In fact, he wants to go on a date with you next weekend. I turned to look at her, surprised, but Suri had a perfectly innocent expression on her face, as if all truth in the universe was collected within her. Bisma had apparently seen the look before. Can you please not embarrass me anymore? You already know, I said. It's true. I don't know why I said that. Okay, I know exactly why. Because there's nothing else I could bear to do. I met Ms. Bisma all the 2 times, and I'd seen her go through more than I could ever put anyone else put up with. More than I'd ever seen anyone else put up with. I didn't want our third meeting to be humiliating for her, too. Bisma stared at me as if she couldn't believe I was really there. Then she shook her head. No, don't do that. What? You know what? It should be all noble and chivalrous, and I don't need to be rescued. I held up my hands. Not trying to do that. I had fun when we got coffee. We should hang out like friends. You seem like a cool person. She narrowed her eyes at me as if I were a pet store owner trying to sell her a weasel, telling her it was cuddly little bunny rabbit. Friends? Friends. You have friends, right? A few. Then maybe you could use another one. Bisma crossed her arms and studied me for a minute. And studied me for a galactically long time. It felt like my soul was being weighed by scales of Libra. Fine, she said, but I'll pay for my own food. Sure, you can pay for my food too if you want. I'm pretty much always broke. That made her smile, and Suri gave me a thumbs up, and like for a second it looked like this was miraculously going to end well. When Chef Broder stormed into the room, a scowl on her face, waving her toque in the air as if trying to get rid of particularly annoying bee. What is all this chatter? I'm working on the books. Mr. Jelani, do you know how much I hate account? She saw my 2 visitors, and all of a sudden there was a wide, gracious smile on her face. Ah, we have guests. Of course, I thought. Did she think I was out here just talking to myself? Yes, Chef. She ignored me completely. Lovely guests at that. You are, of course, most welcome. Unfortunately, as you can see, we are closed at the moment. So I can only assume that this imbecile let you in. We were just leaving, Bisma said. I'm so sorry for our intrusion. No, not at all, Brodier said magnanimously. I'm so entirely charmed to meet you, my dear. You are Bisma. This is my sister, Suri. So, you are the girl my chef was thinking about on Friday. Bisma blushed and looked away. He made pasta because of you. I'm not a particular devotee of pasta myself, but given how unexpectedly well it turned out, I hope that Chef Daniel make Chef Daniel cook for you all the time, and that his food gives you plenty of little deaths. I stared at her. Chef Daniel, where had that come from? I was a line cook. And little deaths, was that French for orgasms? Was asking Bisma if I'd give her foodgasms. I wanted to die. Chef, I begged, hoping she'd stop talking. What are you doing standing there? She said. It was a bark more than a human noise. The good old Brodier I knew and vaguely disliked. Go make these girls something to eat. The kitchen's closed, Chef. I know that, you idiot. Open it. No, Bisma said. Really, thank you. We'll come back at a more convenient time. We were just leaving.